So, welcome to the Caerusnet podcast. I've got with me for this episode Dr. Michael Berry. Dr. Berry is a Caerusnet member of one of Wendy Caverly's teams, the Livingston Lunch Club, as I think is what it goes by now, which is kind of cool. He's been a Caerusnet member since April of 2022. So thanks for sticking with us after the initial year, Dr. Berry. One of the things I like to reward people with is if they've been with us a year, then I'm ready to share you with the rest of the network. I don't like to share the flashes in the pan, but I like to share the people that really are starting to look like maybe this is a part of their routine and is a part of a life that they're embracing. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be here. I like what you said about the flash in the pan.
Yeah,
No, I love it.
I'm glad you do. So let's kind of roll back in time just a little bit. If I was a fly on a wall, what wall would I be on listening to who told you about Caerusnet? Like who was it and how did that go down?
So the person that actually initially introduced me to Caerusnet was Clark Bradley. I had met him through his business, um, Cowork Brighton. He does some outreach, and we started talking, and he actually led me to Wendy Caverly, and that's how I ended up getting into Caerusnet. So we like to say that Wendy stole me away. Clark wanted me to be a member of his group, but the time slot didn't work for me. So, but yeah, he was the first contact for Caerusnet.
All right, Clark Bradley, we appreciate you. And yes, sometimes people are mildly disappointed when somebody they really like it's not a good fit for their day and time. But I always tell people that really is the most important thing when you join a team is to be sure that you're joining one on a day and a time that actually goes with the rest of your flow with your business. Otherwise, you're fighting a bunch of stuff to get there and you just don't have a good experience with it. So thank you, Clark Bradley. Cowork Brighton, Elite Power Washing, and Griswold Holiday Lights. That's a guy that likes to keep busy.
Oh yeah, yep. I think every year he's added something else to his plate. So I'm like, let's go.
Well, listen, so it's Conquer Chiropractic. So why don't we do the profile for your business? Maybe you can share with us chiropractic. What is that exactly? Everybody's got an idea, right, of what they think chiropractic is. And who do you really feel like you're helping best in the world today?
Oh yeah, no. Everyone I'm sure associates chiropractic with getting their back cracked, right? So that's what we're known for, right? It's that satisfaction of hearing that loud, right? But so we actually specialize in a lot of sports medicine here at Conquer Chiropractic. We are a very hands-on, very um, driven, right? We have an aggressive approach because we want to get people back to doing what they want to do. Chiropractic by definition is done by hand. So that's where chiropractic is founded. It is based around that theology, and that's really how we deliver our care. We use our hands. We might use tools at times, but primarily we like to do things by hand, and that there's a lot of things that can happen through just that physical touch, right? And people don't really think about that as much, but it's good for your body, just that contact with another human being, especially one that's trying to help you. There's a lot of power in that. So not only are we focused on getting people back to doing what they want to do, but they usually tend to trust us a little bit more than maybe their primary care physicians, just because one, we just spend more time with them, and they trust us. They like us. A lot of the time, we're the fun doctor to go to, and it's just something that they like to adopt and incorporate into their lifestyle, so that they can keep doing the things that they want to do without having to think about what they need to limit in order to do it.
I noticed that you also have like massage as a service that's offered there as well too. And I've always thought that was a great thing for a chiropractor to do is have access to those because some people they're so tense that, you might get resistance at being able to really do the right job for them under those conditions. Is that why you went down that road?
So the my massage therapist was an addition. What was that in like 2021, about a year after I opened, and it really was a great addition. We always joke around, if we're not working on patients, we're working on each other because we're constantly learning about the like different ways that things work because not everyone is the same. For we also joke that I'm the quick and dirty. I get in there, I do trigger point, pin and stretch exercises. They're very intense. If you want to get the muscle worked into, that's when you go to massage. You get that half hour, that hour with the massage therapist, and they can really do some work and get the muscles loosened up. That way, when the adjustment is delivered, it's easier to receive and the relief actually lasts longer. And that's what it's all about.
And you're located in Brighton, correct? So where exactly in Brighton? And then regarding your services, do people pay for these services all in cash? Do you accept any sort of insurances? How does all of that work? And again, your location.
Yeah, so we're actually located in Brighton, Michigan, right by the UPS store. You'll see Bushes. Sorry, I just looked over at Bushes over here. Yeah, so we're actually by Bushes, by the UPS store, and little insider info. There's a crumble cookie going in next door. So if you're looking for us, we're next to the crumble cookie. But Yeah, no, for as far as our services, we do accept cash, card, right? Every time you talk about cash, people usually think like, oh my gosh, you don't take a credit card. We'll take a credit card. That's fine. HSA, FSA accounts are also are utilized here. We're in network with a few insurances. We're on par with Medicare. We're in network with Health Alliance plans. We're in network with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and we are in network with Aetna. So those are our commercial insurers, but we do have patients that are cash only as well.
Okay, great. Sounds like you're really able to take care of, anybody that's really seriously looking for help. And before we dive into some networking questions, what was it that drew you into chiropractic?
So this is a fun story for me. I know a lot of my colleagues have similar stories. Mine was through personal injury. I was a football player, a swimmer. I was very active, and I'm not the fastest runner. So when I got injured initially, it was because I picked up a punt return. Don't ever do that if you're not a fast runner. So I got dogpiled on my ankle. I got a high ankle sprain. What that means is that a normal ankle sprain, it focuses on the ligaments in the ankle. A high ankle sprain is when they tear the ligament between the two bones of the leg, and that travels up, usually a longer recovery time. My own experience with that kind of injury with ankle sprains, you're on crutches for like 3 weeks, and then it's like a slow rehab process back. What I actually ended up doing was I went and saw my mentor, my chiropractor, and he had me able to bear weight in about a week with a walking boot. Now, the treatment was very painful, but effective. So it was at that point, I was a sophomore in high school. I said, this is what I want to do. I want to do this for other people. And basically from then on, it's been straight. I'm going to be a chiropractor. I want to help people.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that, when you get personally impacted by something, that's just like me in the referral network. I was substantially impacted, doing referrals, but in a different organization. And when the opportunity came for me to make a shift in life to, take that to the world, it was really, really exciting because I was positively impacted and knew I could do that. And it's the same thing with you. So let's talk about your business and your business strategy. A lot of businesses, they don't go and do networking. They don't get involved with the community. They would much rather send out 100,000 postcards and see if 10 people reply and if one of those become a customer, or internet marketing funnels and trying to find ways to get people into the office that way. You've opted to also concentrate an area of your business on one-on-one relationship development. Where was it in your business formation that you made the decision that networking would be important to you?
So I'm not gonna lie, I did mailers. I did the clickbait. I call it clickbait, call it what it is. It's clickbait. Um, and oh my God, it's expensive and you throw a lot of money at it. And the patients that I was getting from that were there were good ones. There were diamonds in the rough, right? But primarily they're just looking for the discount. They come once or twice and that's it. Um, I didn't I didn't feel good about doing that. And I was like, I'm a people person. I want to focus more on that. And when I heard that there's a networking group that focuses on meaningful connections and referring people that you know, like, and trust, I was like, all right, that is what I'm about. I need to be a part of this. And when Clark told me about it originally, I was like, at the end of I just cut these people off for the clickbait, I'm like, oh man, I need to get into something that is different. I don't want this same concept pushed on, and I don't want to be people pitching to me all the time. And so I was like, okay, I'll meet Wendy and kind of see what she's about. And I mean, immediately I'm like, this is totally different. This sounds exciting. I'm like, let's go. And I signed up that day. I'm like, let's go. I'm not going to question it. Again, know, like, and trust Clark. So I wanted to, uh, I wanted to pursue it and see what it was all about and what it was there that would be like that pearl, right? We talk in medicine about that clinical pearl. Like, what is that one thing that really sets it apart or zeroes you in on a topic and what it will do for you in the long term?
Okay, awesome. And so with respect to your Caerusnet experience, what is it that you're enjoying the most so far?
So far, I like meeting people, but my friends all joke. They're like, oh, I need this. I bet Mike's got a guy. And I do. They're like, oh man, I'm struggling with this. I'm like, oh, if you want, I can connect you with somebody that I know that does an excellent job. And having that ability to help my friends and even my patients and connect to these professionals that I know that I've met through Caerusnet, it's really exciting for me. I mean, it's like giving is the biggest reward about it. It's not even about what I get out of it. It's what I get to do for everyone else that really it drives me. I'm excited to be a part of such a community that I have these people that I know, like, and trust that I can refer to because they're going to take care of them, and that's big.
Yeah, it is. And that's what I really got drawn into as well when I used to own a mortgage company. Um, I really loved to be somebody that people weren't expecting. I liked being somebody that was much more than they were expecting, was able to kind of ramp up a relationship a little faster than most people. And the reason that that happened was because I also put them in front of other people that were solving other problems in their life. And just like you, friends, family, other people that I knew in business knew that I was connected. And I looked at it and said, geez, if I'm helping all these people, I feel great about that. But I understand how the laws of the universe work as well, too. And there's something called the power of reciprocity. And that's if you help enough people get what they want in life, you're probably not going to be left wanting yourself. So, it's just that comfort of just knowing you're doing the right things and allowing those things to just naturally season and come back to you. And then you just get that great referral. So let's ask about that. Do you have a success story that kind of comes to top of mind if I were to ask you, Dr. Berry, do you have a success story in Caerusnet that you could share? Maybe another member got involved in something.
Which one? I oh my gosh, they're one of my a couple of my friends. This is too funny. I have two guys that I just invited to a meeting, and I'm like, oh, there's no way this person's not a part of Cirrusnet already, right? So I met him at a networking event at Cowork Brighton again, and I was like, we connected and we just like each other, and so we became friends. And I'm like, hey, you should come check out my Cirrusnet group. I'm like, I know you're probably already involved. He wasn't. at all. And he came out, and he was another person that signed up pretty quickly. And I mean, everyone kind of jumps towards him for a lot of their needs as well. And I use him to this day, and he does such a good job. And I'm just really excited to have, a couple of my buddies in my Caerusnet group at this point. But it was just one of those things. Like, you don't think anything of it, but then it just blossoms into this amazing thing. And it really was exciting for me to see him become a part of it and enjoy it as much as I do.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I think that also speaks to something that, we talk about on my Caerusnet teams is, I'll have a person that comes and visits a team, and one person that was on the team extended the invitation to this person, yet 5 other people knew who that person was, but somehow or another it escaped them to give that person the invitation too, because they might have assumed, hey, they're probably in Caerusnet, because we are kind of the largest network in Livingston County, but there's a lot of people that aren't in Caerusnet that we can really help, have them, give them an extended business family, in a sense of belonging and community. So one of the other reasons that I kind of wait for somebody who's been around for at least a year in the network before I have them as a guest on the podcast is because we learn a lot in our first year of membership, right? We get in with the ideas of what we think it's going to be, and then we learn the reality of what it's going to be. And the truth be told, we all have our own reality in Caerusnet. But I'd like to ask you the final question, which is, let's say you're having a trust builder with the newest member of the Livingston Lunch Club, and they say to you, Dr. Barry, I see you get referrals, you seem so well liked. What's the best advice you could give me for me to have success in Caerusnet? What would you say to that?
Don't focus on what does it do for me. Um, it's being selfless is when you really start to shine. And when you're not thinking about yourself, but you're thinking about others. And there's something that can be said about that. When you're selfless and you give selflessly, it comes back. And there's no timeline on that. But if you just give and you do it as happily as you can, it comes back. People see that, and as long as you're not focused on what you're going to get from this, if I do this, well, then I should get this.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. And if you're only focused on selfish gains, it's not the right place for you, or you have the wrong mindset.
There's other organizations those people can join that they'll be rating company with, but at Caerusnet, it's obviously going to definitely help a person the most. I was talking with a person yesterday that's going to be visiting my teams, and I just kind of paint a picture for like who's the ideal person to take advantage of Caerusnet. And it's not the person that's going, my gosh, if I don't get my sales up soon, I'm going to be looking for another job. It's not the desperation. It's the people that, okay, they have a book of business now. They built a business. They are okay. They can look out at least a year later on and go, I'll probably still be doing what I'm doing today a year from now. So the reason I look for people like that is because those people can get out of their own way and can be better referrers and put other people first. But if you haven't had a meal yourself in 60 days, it might be a little hard for you to want to share your pizza with somebody else, if you understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, well, Dr. Beery, I love having you in the network. It's been great meeting you at some of the events that I've met you at as well, too. Keep up the great work with the Livingston Lunch Club, Wendy Caverly's team there, and doing great job taking care of people. If you'd like to connect with Dr. Barry, his contact information's in all the drop downs. And of course, he's a great participator, so you'll probably see him at a Caerusnet event. If you happen to go to those yourself, and be sure you say hello. Thanks for being on the Caerusnet podcast today, Dr. Barry.
Hey, thanks for having me, Steve. I really appreciate it.